All right. Thank you, Apostolos, for reviewing a wonderful paper on diabetes and exercise, and Stojan for the wonderful book that you've reviewed. I was given the task to kind of present on lifestyle medicine, a chapter initiated by our government in India, not related to the topic. So I had an option between an app which is called Fit India Movement, which has been designed for fitness in India. People in India do not like to run. They say obesity runs in their family. It's not that. It's that nobody runs in India. That's why they have obesity. So, but then I did not choose that because that was taken up by one of my colleagues last time. Instead, this year has been declared as the International Millet Year, and the government of India has asked United Nations to propose to 2023 as the International Year of Millets. So, what is the importance of millets and how we can all benefit as a lifestyle nutrition is what we'll be discussing in the next 5 minutes or so. But before I do ask the slide to be changed, I would like to share with you an event that happened. After I finished this presentation in our rehearsals, um, I did realize that we have on board a dietitian. Stojan is a dietitian, and he said that more important than millets is a wheat diet, which the nutritionists have actually also kind of said that it helps lower diabetes and prevents cardiovascular health. It protects cardiovascular health, prevents cardiovascular episodes, maintains a healthy weight, and also helps manage the inflammation of gut. So that reminded me of a small joke which I would like to share with our esteemed group here. Um, the fact is that there was this in Christmas, one of these Santa Claus came and he asked, this little girl, what you want, and she said she wanted a Ferrari, and he says it's out of the question. A Ferrari is too expensive, and so he says, ask. Then he asks her, you take another choice of what you would like to have. So he says, okay, then make all the nutritionists in the world agree on one diet. So he says, that's impossible. What color of the Ferrari do you want? So, having said that, um, millets is one of the oldest foods known to humans, and it can actually prevent malnutrition. It can be used as domestic purposes. And we are having actually a millet canteen, which is opened in our college recently, just a few days before, in which they're also having competitions of baking like millet cakes and all. And it's supposed to be one of the future crops and can be grown in harsh environments of arid and semi-arid regions of Asia and Africa also. And I'll be taking some of the types of millets like sorghum, pearl, millet, and so forth, which are grown in various parts of the world, as Apostles has just shown. Can you just go to the next slide, please? So it is grown all over the world. There are so many lakhs tons are produced in all the continents of the world, from 20 lakh tons to 423 lakh tons in Africa and Australia, New Zealand also, and Asia and America. Can you go on to the next slide, please? This is then the millet area grown in India, where we have most of it in North India and West India, where the most of the millets are producing states are where they're producing the various types of millets which have been shown here. Basically, millets, we make these chapatis and rotis, they actually prevents the brittle bones. Like when a person falls, especially who are elderly, who have osteoporosis, they result in an outstretched arm to, the fracture of the hand or the ulna and the radius. So if the bones are brittle, they break like a twig. But if person who has millets, like the an old Kannada saying in the scriptures of India, say that a person who eats rice is weightless, like a bird. In fact, nowadays it's been shown that rice eaters have got more diabetes. But one who eats jowar, which is a type of millet, is strong like a wolf because of the bones are being very strong. And one who eats ragi, he is nirogi. Nirogi means he's free from any disease. Now, one of the reasons scientifically it has been proven that, as Apostles was talking about diabetes, that it helps to kind of cause a sustained release of glucose, and it also you achieve satiety quite easily because it causes distension of the stomach. So it's also a dietary fiber, so it helps in the prevention of constipation and colonic cancer, and it's quite easy to digest also, and it's very nutritious. These nutritious cereals are grown all over India, as I told you. And one of the important thing is that it can be grown on, it doesn't require a lot of water. It can be grown on an arid land, and it is economical also for the farmer. Can we go to the next slide, please? Many crores of people are benefiting out of this. And it's just the awareness is not there that it can help in detoxification, prevention of migraine, prevention of cancer, and also it's a very rich source of, as I mentioned, dietary fiber and a lot of vitamins and minerals, which is a building block of our nutritional diet. It also helps to kind of improve the lipid profile and the glucose tolerance, and improve the GIT health, especially people who are gluten sensitive. Can you go to the next slide, please? Who are gluten sensitive, they have, this is gluten free, the sorghum diet and so forth. So they can actually resort to having this if they have any allergies. Nowadays in the food of fast foods and all, you have, when people have a lot of pizzas and all, which is one of the lifestyle diseases, they can actually resort to having more of millet diet, because it leads to irritable bowel syndrome, too many pizzas, or night lifestyle, or sitting on the computer. In India, you have these call centers that work at night on an American time. So these nutritious diets could help out, balance out their diets. Can you go to the next slide, please? These are various other forms of millets. Pearl millet, next slide, helps to build up the immune system, which is also gluten free, and it also helps in the glucose tolerance. It can also be grown in a very arid, high temperature and low soil fertility, where other crops like maize and wheat will not kind of survive. Yeah, please, next slide, please. This is another millet, which is called finger millet. These can also be given to people of diabetes, and when they go in for a diabetic diet in the initial stages before you start on oral hypoglycemic agents. So the finger millet is also a high source of calcium, and they can be given to children, because we know that calcium is required for their growing bones. And it's also a high source of amino acid and proteins such as lysine and threonine, which are essential amino acids. And this also adds on to the high dietary fiber, and also it is a slowly digestible starch. Next, please. This is the other form of millet. Can we move on to the next? This also has the similar benefits of maintaining good lipid profile. So people who have high cholesterol, rather than having wheat and rice, this is a wonderful alternative, and it has a rich source of essential amino acids, dietary fiber, and again vitamins, minerals. Next, please. This is the proso millet, and this one is actually being it's quite popular because it has a very short cycle, and within 16 days, 60 days after planting, you can actually reap the harvest. And it is basically the winter which is there in India right now, because we're in the northern hemisphere. This is quite good at this time of the year. Can you move to the next slide? These are the sources of little millet, which are rich in iron, phosphorus, and niacin, these vitamins, and also the essential amino acids of cysteine and methionine, which are sulfur containing amino acids. Next, please. So in benefit, as you can see, these are high mineral contents. And like we take vitamins and mineral supplements in term form of tablets, that can be reduced, because we know that vitamins do not have a high, absorbability, because they are lost in the urine or so. If you take B, C, and D, E, except for the water soluble vitamins, they do not remain in the body. So the natural source is the best form. And iron and zinc are very well found in high amounts in millets. Next, please. As you can see in the slide. Similarly, calcium, which we had discussed, and and the other are also found. So how are we promoting this? We're having international conferences in India. We're having competitions among nutritionists. We're having chefs, cook, who is a master chef in various millets, this thing. We're having farmers to kind of, have their equipment kind of on display, and various technology products. They're having competitions that you can actually make a better technology to harvest the millet. Now, these conferences are now being held all over, not only in India, but nowadays in Europe, in Germany, in USA, and also in the Arabic countries, Addis Ababa, and so forth. So we're having various workshops, fairs, and exhibitions for the promotion of this initiative, which is not only now in Government of India, but now it's a major event around the world. In India, they've provided free midday meals to children. The time is now 1:40 in the morning in India, I should say night, and my heartbeat is still very high because I'm kind of presenting in an August gathering on something which I did not know much. But then I did ask my wife to kind of make a millet cake because she's good at making cakes to kind of have in competition. But they're also having buffets at hotels. They have a free dish of millets to kind of promote this millet diet. They also say that you should fast once a week, and on other days you should have at least 1 day a week a purely millet diet. So this is actually a fasting diet which is called vrat in India. And nowadays they're having various online platforms, and I'm actually honored to share this on this stage here. So this is mass awareness which the government of India is promoting. Can you go to the next slide, please? We also have mobile kitchen units, and which are supporting, and also the print media and the social and electronic media are into this. We also having the various industries of India which are engaged, the Confederation of Indian Industry, and the food and research labs to promote millets in defense and police and canteens. They're having rations at a subsidized rate. They're given to the soldiers who are at the borders and all, and also in the army and the navy. So they ration it at a small, I mean, at a very subsidized cost. So that they also been given and fed millets nowadays. Now, even they are free millets given out 10 lakh women and children to improve their nutritional status. In India, kwashiorkor and marasmus among children is quite common. Okay, so this is the slogans. We had slogan competitions also for the International Year of Millet, which is 2023, the year which is right now. And in Hindi, it says Swasth Thali Millet Wali. It's rhyming Thali and Wali. Basically, it means that if you want to be healthy, then you have a plate of millet. Can you move to the next slide, please? I think that's the last slide. Must thank all of you for this opportunity that you gave me. I'm also honored, and I'm supposed to kind of synthesize that how we work in a team. I mean, this is from one of Guruji's lessons. He says, "Hello, my white, brown, red, yellow brothers, sisters, and friends, all races, our own family and loved ones." And on this platform, one really feels that we are all working, we are living life in style. Probably one day we'll go in style, and that's lifestyle. And we worked as a team. And I must say, Apostolos is from Greece, and Stojan is from North Macedonia. Thomas is also, as mentioned, a part of our team, but he couldn't join us because he was in an Arabian country where the communication was not allowed, the WhatsApping or the emailing. So we met about 2 to 3 times. In India, it was around 9:30, and it was around 3.5, 4 hours behind in Europe. So there was Stojan and Apostolos were separated by about an hour or so. And Apostolos, who volunteered for the paper initially, and I also had shared one of my papers on exercise and reaction times. Stojan then volunteered for reviewing a book. So they both have done a wonderful job conveying the message, which Apostolos did, that in diabetes, one prevent diabetes, and if we exercise rightly, if we eat rightly, and if we think rightly. Basically, he emphasized on the exercise part. Uh, Stojan summarized the book, and I'm happy that we worked as a Vasudevam Kutumbam, as a world family, I should say. And thanks to AIIMS for kind of getting us together on this wonderful platform. Thank you so much, and